Hope you're doing well. Had a good lunch. It's been a real awesome journey, both at Maxar and the different roles I've held, over the years at Radiant Solutions, Digital Globe, and GOI. But a lot of that's been hand in hand with the team at Mapbox, and so really thrilled to be here this afternoon, kicking off the afternoon lineup. And so what I wanted to do was share a little bit about our past and where we're going in our future. I work for MaxR Technologies. MaxR was formed about 18 months ago through the combination of Digital Globe and MDA. And one of the goals we had was to bring innovation to the new space economy. And we did that through bringing innovation at different phases of the value chain, from manufacturing space-based assets, so satellites and space robotics, through to collecting world-class imagery, through both optical and radar sensors, and then delivering that into analytic insights, for our customers. Up until recently, I served as the president of Radiant Solutions. Our goal at Radiant was to reveal insights where and when it matters to build a better world. And so doing that through bringing together multiple sources of geospatial information, enriching that to create information, and ultimately delivering insights for many mission partners across both the national intelligence community, as well as many other commercial customers around the world. But I started my career in this industry coming up on 10 years ago at GOI, and then in 2013 we became part of Digital Globe. And one of the things that we did at the time was the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency was, at the time, our largest customer. And for those of you that are either with NGA or familiar with NGA, its mission as a combat support agency is to provide foundation GeoInt, to the warfighter. So their goal is to make maps up to date, turn that into cartographic products, also leverage that for analytic products. And one of the things I love about my role at the company is, regardless of what hat I've worn, and certainly in my new role in a MaxR leadership role, we're really focused on how do we take the vision, the purpose and vision of our company, and mapping that to customers' needs. And in Digital Globe, and so in 2015 when we had this meeting, with the leadership of NGA, Digital Globe's purpose was to see a better world. And its vision was to become an indispensable source of information about our changing planet. And so at the time, Director Long, Tish Long, she visited our office, and we talked about how collaborative innovation was a team sport. That if you could take the things that were occurring with pervasive sensors, so new sensors going on orbit to collect imagery, if you could extract information through different techniques like crowdsourcing and machine learning, and then get that integrated into a mapping ecosystem, that you can create tremendous value in a short amount of time, help them accomplish their mission faster. One of the things that Tish Long talked about was that she wanted to put the power of GeoInt in the hands of her users, into those warfighters, those first responders. And so we went through, no PowerPoint, we went through an interactive story where we talked about all the different mission partners that NGA worked with, how they were consumers of NGA product, and how we're going to turn them into producers of information. And so at the time, in 2015, we talked about some programs we had that were at earlier stage form. So the Enhanced GeoInt Delivery effort, which now has 250,000 users across the community. Potluck was an effort where we were prototyping, taking OpenStreetMap and deploying that in a government domain for crowdsourced mapping. How we had a partnership ecosystem that was forming, and there was a small company named Mapbox that we had come present at that meeting. But then we needed to do it in a way that would support the needs of those mission customers, getting them maps and cartographic products in the format they could use, so supporting their tradecraft. And so what's been really exciting over the past 4 years, and leading to realization of the 2020 vision, is that we're in a position now where we can become an indispensable source of information about our changing planet, and do that in a way that puts information in people's hands. So one of our core programs at Radiant Solutions, and now part of MaxR, is an effort called GNOME, the NSG Open Mapping Enclave. And the goal of this effort is to make collaborative mapping tools available as an operational prototype on multiple domains, allowing people from unclassed all the way up to classified systems to be able to, if they see something wrong with the map, they can edit it. It's leveraging a lot of the core tech, that's part of the OpenStreetMap ecosystem, and our work with Mapbox has been critical, to that. And so what you can see here is on the top is a screenshot of OpenStreetMap. On the bottom is a map that was produced in GNOME, and it was done through taking advantage of automation, so using automated feature extraction to digitize buildings and roads, and then providing collaborative mapping tools to be able to enrich that data. And so one of the things that we've been highly focused on as a company is how do we continue this trend? We started out with a goal, and we were able to demonstrate that we can deliver these operational prototypes and deliver real valuable data in short timelines, but how do we do it at scale? And so a lot of our focus as a company has been, how do we take data that is being collected every day, so hundreds of terabytes of new imagery collected each day, making that available on very rapid timelines within hours of collection, putting the tools on top to be able to extract information, and then making that available not just for map visualization, but also to power analytics, through applications like Mapbox, analytic tools like Signature Analyst that I'm going to talk about here in a bit. And so doing it in a way where things that were talked about earlier today, the mapping, the routing, the geocoding, is all updated with current foundation data. So some of the ways we've applied that has been in support of humanitarian assistance and disaster response missions. And so this pattern of being able to, on very rapid timelines, be able to make both pre and post imagery available, run algorithms to extract information, get crowds to be able to further enrich that data. We've been applying that for hundreds of campaigns over the years. One of the reasons examples that was referenced earlier in the morning talks was Hurricane Michael. And so this was an event that caused billions of dollars of damage in the Panhandle. That's obviously a high tourist attraction. And so being able to both respond to the disaster and support recovery, rapid recovery, was critical. This is a visualization of a rapid crowdsourcing campaign that we executed using both pre-event imagery from Digital Globe, post-event imagery that was collected from FEMA and provision on a NOAA site, and then a crowd that was able to take the buildings that were identified through automated feature extraction and then convert that into damage assessments for close to 8,000 buildings within 3 hours. This is an example of the visualization, of that. And so one of the things that we're really focused on as a company is, how do we work with our customers, customers like NGA and others that have need to provide these types of products at scale, along with a broader ecosystem of partners to build a resilient geospatial infrastructure. If we're going to create living maps, we need to do it in a way where we're being anticipatory. So how do we take advantage of insights about where change is occurring? Augment that with information and analytics about where maps are out of date. And then build on that by understanding demand signals. So based on how people are consuming map products and imagery, where are there opportunities to do further enrichment? And so what we've been doing in the area of advanced visualization is creating tools that allow us to take sources like, in this case, we leverage Landsat, Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2 data to be able to create persistent change detection algorithms, to be able to understand where there's change indicators. Augment that with analytics that allow us to look at where there's gaps or in currency in OpenStreetMap. And then also look at patterns around imagery consumption and combine those indicators to be able to understand where we should focus our efforts for map enrichment. This example is showing usage of imagery consumption data visualized through a Tableau interface with Mapbox incorporated. And so just to walk through a use case, we've been heavily focused on how we can create global mapping products. And so we've applied these techniques to look at opportunities to enrich mapping data, focus first in Mexico, and then we're looking to scale this more broadly. And so in addition to the types of indicators I referenced earlier, we're applying other methods. So in this case, we're using machine learning technology to be able to understand more detail in the satellite images as another indicator of where we should focus on enriching maps. In this case, dump trucks and cement mixers are feature types where if you see those features, there's probably new construction and there's a need to update the map. And so we fed those types of indicators. So where we know there's spectral change, where we know there's new features, where there are other indicators in satellite imagery, to be able to build models that allow us to identify in an area. In this case, Reynosa, Mexico, is a border town in McLean, near McLean, Texas. How do we create a more substantive and current mapping product? And so the Heatmap is visualizing areas where we know that there's opportunities to further enrich, that then can feed a mapping workflow, using tools like the HOT Task Manager, to identify where you'd want to drive enrichment, and then it allows you in very short timelines, so within days, to be able to create products where we go from a map of this density to a map of that density, which again creates feature data that can lead to better geocoding, routing, map visualization, and geospatial analytics. And so one of the things that we've been, we aspire to do is we want to do this at global scale. We collect imagery with our constellation that provides foundation data for 90% of the foundation mission, globally, and as part of our product strategy, we create service level agreements where we refresh that content frequently. And so we've done some analytics recently where we looked at, for close to 2,000 cities around the globe, we have a service level agreement where we're refreshing that, with 30 to 50 centimeter imagery. We've looked at, based on intersection, of those locations, where are there indicators of change? So close to 8 million change polygons that were identified using sources like Landsat, Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2. And then looking at OpenStreetMap, that there are close to 5 billion features in OpenStreetMap, where there's an opportunity to enrich the quality of data that's in the public, with additional automation and crowdsourced enrichment. And so our plan is to build a global urban feature data product that can then be exposed both, again, for map visualization and analytic applications. And so this is a tool we built in partnership with Mapbox, DevSeed, and our core team across Maxar, where we're able to create a global visualization of urban change, and then leverage that as a way to help direct where we would drive these mapping campaigns. Some of the things that I think are really powerful about this is, and it's been great to see examples of where Mapbox is going with Atlas Server, the Flyaway kits, various technologies, is that we can do this in a way where we're not only providing these services on the public internet, but we can make it a deployable service as well. And so with some of the examples of austere environments that first responders and military need to operate in, being able to offer them the ability to take advantage of the latest data and apply it to their missions is something that I think ultimately allows us to, 4 years in, another year and a half, until we're through 2020, has accomplished that vision. And so allowing us to see a better world, allowing us to reveal insights where and when it matters, and ultimately becoming an indispensable source of information about our changing planet. Thanks for the opportunity, and I'll be here through the afternoon break in case folks want to have conversations. Thank you.